Hello everyone. Today we are going to understand the concept of lookup operators and projections in the Power Query. So let's get started. So the data which I am presenting on the screen is a sales table where we have the order date, the region, the manager, the salesman's name, the unit price, and the sales amount. So the concept which we are going to discuss right now is the navigation or how to look up a particular value from a particular table. What I mean to say is that suppose if I want to extract the manager name Martha, then in that case, how to reach to this particular value using Power Query. So for that, what we have to do, let me create a next step. So if you see, you already know that in the case of Power Query, the row starts from 0 and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 accordingly. So what we have to do, this change data type is giving me a table, and if after the table name in the curly braces, if I give the position of a particular row, in my case it is 0. So what I'm going to get is the record. What is a row? A row of a table is nothing but a record. So if I put the table name and in the curly braces, the position of that particular row, it will give me a record. And from the record, if I will have to extract the manager name, then in the square brackets, I can give the field name or the header of that particular record to extract the value. Now I have the required value on the screen. So I will rename this particular step as extract a value. Now let me create another step and I will refer back to my change data type step so that I get my table back. See, in the previous step, what we did, we have hard coded my row number, but it is not always that you want to hard code your row number in your table. The value which you want to extract, you may want to extract based on some variable values. Okay, so using the lookup operator, we can remove this hard coding and we can extract a particular required value. So let's understand with the help of example. Suppose now I want to extract the manager name for the order date 18th April 2018. So how I need to navigate? So if I will have to go the hard coding way, my row number will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I will have to put in the curly braces 6 and I will get my sixth record, and then I will put my header name as manager and I will get my manager name. But hey, I don't want to hard code the row number because tomorrow this order date of 18th April can move in any of the rows. Today it is appearing in the 6th row of my table. Tomorrow it can be in 16th row also. So in that case, what we can do, I can tell to the Power Query, that from my table order date, take the order date as 18th April and then you refer the manager column. So I will just give my column reference as order date is equals to, since it is a date, I will put hash date and I will in the parenthesis I will give my date as 18th April 2018. So first the year will come, then the month will come, and then the date will come. And here I'm getting my value. So if I just remove this manager header name, what I'm getting is my record. So what Power Query is doing, it is referring to the table and the order date column, and from the order date column, it is looking up the value of 18th April 2018, and then it is fetching me that particular record. And from the record, if I put the header name, what I'm going to get is my required value of that particular header. So I can rename this step as extract a value using lookup operator. But one important point we should note in the case of lookup operator, the value which you are trying to look up should not be a duplicate value. What I mean to say that, suppose in this case, I am looking up the order date, and if 18th April is repeating multiple times, then in that case, it is not going to give me multiple records. It will fail that then and there. So let us try with the help of another example. I am again referring my change data type state so that I get my table back. Now, if you see in the region column, East is appearing multiple times. So if I will have to look up the region column and I want to refer the East from the region column, it is going to fail, and it is telling me that the key matched more than one row in the table. Because when I'm telling to the Power Query that you look up the value East from the region column in the table change data type, what it is finding that there are multiple rows are there, and with the help of this it is not able to give me a single record, and hence it is failing. So this is one of the important concept which we have to keep in mind while applying the lookup operator. So let me rename this step as unique key for lookup operator. Now let me create another step and refer back change data type step so that I get my table back. So now suppose I want to extract based on multiple column values. I want to look up the value using multiple columns filter. Then how to proceed that? Against my table name, in the curly braces, if I give the column name, say order date is equals to date, the date is say 18th April 2018, and also what I want, the region should be say central. I want that particular record where the region is central and the order date is 18th April 2018. Then what it is doing, it is applying filter on the table basis the order date and the region, and then it is finding that there is a unique record present in the table, and it is giving me that particular row as a record. And now in this, if I give my salesman name, so it will give me the particular required value. So here we are extracting using multiple columns in the lookup operator. Now there is one more important concept in the Power Query, that is projections. So let us understand that also. And for that I am just referring to my change data type step back so that I get my table back. Now from this table, if you want to extract a particular column, there are multiple ways in which you can do that. Suppose you want only the managers to appear, so you can right click and tell remove other columns, and what you are going to get is a particular column as a table structure. But what it is doing, it is using a Power Query function for extracting that. But using projections also, you can do the same thing. So if I put double square brackets and give a particular column name, what I'm going to get is a particular column of that table in a table structure. So suppose you want one more column, say order date. So I can give the another column name in the again square brackets and put a comma, and I will get two columns. So like this, if you want to extract multiple columns of a table, you can use the projections technique. So let me rename this as projections. There is a one more navigation or a lookup operations which Power Query does whenever we import a table into the Power Query interface. So what I mean to say is that uh, let me close and load, and tell only create connections. So what I mean to say that if I am importing this particular table into the Power Query, then what Power Query is going to do, it is going to use the lookup operations to bring this particular table into the Power Query user interface. So let's see what Power Query has written the M code. So if you see, it has written excel.current workbook. So whatever in the current workbook, the tables are present. It has imported those tables. And if I remove just this particular thing, what I'm going to get is the a table where all the tables present in my Excel workbook is shown here along with the table name. So content is basically the table which is there in the sheet, and this particular table name is defined as table 1. So if I will have to extract the data of this table, what I can do, I can in the curly braces, I can just write the header of this particular table as name and give the table name as table 1. Then what I'm going to get is a record, and I want the content. Basically, this table I want to extract. So I can give the header of this particular record, and what I'm going to get is the table in my Power Query user interface. So directly or indirectly, we are using lookup operations in my Power Query user interface. And this is one of the most important concepts, because this you are going to use again and again to extract a particular value, or even if you are importing a particular table into the Power Query user interface. Thanks for watching.